Wow, that I wasn't even prepared. I thought I was just telling him how good he smelled.
And here I am, prepared.
You're prepared. And then Bubber's prepared. He's here too.
Bubbers is prepared.
His chair is not here though, so...
Because he's got a giant one back there. Should I also put his chair here?
Well,
Give him some options?
You got to give the people what they want. And what they really want during a live workshop is for our... what's his official position? Co-chair?
Messer-upper of cardboard boxes all over the house.
Oh, you better come here.
I just fed him. He ain't mad. Bubbers.
Come here. Happy Friday, guys. Welcome to the Friday Bean and what, the third week of Web... Is it the third week of Webvember? I think it is. We have been doing workshops every single Friday for Webvember, which, you know, this was just my way of creating a fun opportunity for us to hold a charity for St. Jude, which we do every year. It was an opportunity for me to create something positive for you guys because, as we all know, it's been a little negative online. And I hope you guys watched my video on Tuesday. It did surprisingly well. There was like no keyword optimization for that video. It was kind of me just being personal. And I did not expect it to do as good as it did. I thought that it was going to get like a couple hundred views, but it ended up doing insane. There were some initiatives mentioned, though, in that video that we'll be talking about in that video.
I also don't see the donate thing on this.
It's there.
Or here.
It's on there. I double checked. I made sure it's on there.
Okay. Well, if it doesn't show, then it's not our problem this time.
Yeah. So we'll be talking about those in just a minute while we're waiting for everybody to hop on. But happy Friday, guys. We're going to be talking about ranking today. This workshop, if you want a professional Etsy SEO workshop that is, you know, talking about how to actually do keyword optimization, and, you know, it is more on the scientific side, that's when you go down into my video description and you get my free Etsy SEO toolbox called Etsy SEOodles. It's completely free. My Science of Etsy Success webinar is included in that. It talks about Etsy's algorithm and the mechanics of how it works and the 7 factors that Etsy tells us contribute to our search ranking. It gets a little bit more scientific. I also have videos on how to do keyword optimization. I even have one in there that it's the same video, but for POD with POD examples, because today's workshop is more for the neurodivergent learner who gets really, really exhausted when we talk about data and numbers. This workshop is more metaphorical, more entertaining. It's absolute insanity silliness. You guys can blame Pam Duthie, my partner in crime over at eRank, for the examples that are going to be in today's webinar. It's either going to land for some of you, or it's not. And if it doesn't, go watch
It's terrible.
Go watch Etsy SEO. Oh, no.
It's like the worst presentation I've ever seen.
Oh, you're lying. You love it. So anyway, just know that this is... I used to be a preschool teacher. And one thing that I learned as a preschool teacher was that little kids, they're either going to learn something the way you're teaching it, or you're going to have to change how you're teaching it because they just ain't going to learn it that way. So if they're not learning while you're sitting and reading a book and looking at pictures, how do you change it so that they listen? Well, maybe we introduce a puppet because they need something tangible. And if they don't care that I'm holding the puppet, well, maybe I need to hand them the puppet so that they can act out the parts, right? We all learn differently. And this webinar is the one that I created for everybody who's like, yeah, this data stuff is really boring and I don't really understand it. So get ready. It should definitely be paired with Etsy SEOodles, though.
By the way, thank you to Lewis Brooks, I believe was the name, who saw we only needed $2 to get to 5,000 and donated 50 to be a little bit extra. So
we got 5,000 for St. Jude.
We hit 5,000.
Yay! Well,
hopefully we can get it to 10 by the end of the year. That would be really cool.
Oh, but 5,000 was...
5,000 was the milestone. 10,000 is the extra milestone. Keep donating. Kids need it more than we do.
Absolutely, guys. There's a donate button down below. Make sure that you do that. I'm so happy.
And the donate button is below the chat. They don't put it at the top of the chat anymore. It's strictly below it. Well, for me at least.
Yeah, it's definitely there. But okay, I think that we're good to go ahead and Can you screen share just a second so they can see your wallpaper?
Yeah, I didn't make it, but
Isn't that the cute? That's his desktop wallpaper. Is that not the
yes,
cutest
it's
thing?
it's by the way, you guys, it's Wallpaper Engine. You can get it on Steam. Don't click there. Do not click in that.
I'm not. I'm going
Okay.
over here. I'm going to my. I'm going to my.
Ah, got it.
I'm going to my thing.
There we go.
Okay.
Isn't it lovely?
Isn't it amazing?
It's like $2.99 on Steam, and everything is made by people. Even for you spicy people, they have all the super
Sexy ones.
anime stuff. If you like all the naked Final Fantasy stuff, it's in there.
I've got.
But it's off by default, so
He made
no
me.
worries.
He made me a cute Court of Thorns and Roses one.
I did. I spent like 6 hours making that for you. It was lovely, but it won't work on my screen because it is a 21:9 wallpaper.
Well, anyway.
Let's
All right.
continue.
Let's get into it, guys. Make sure that if you haven't already, you take a screenshot of this. We've only got 3 more weeks of Webvember left. Next week, November 22nd, that will be 1 week out from Black Friday. So we are doing our annual Black Friday Lifeline Q&A. If you have any questions about preparing for Black Friday, getting your shop ready for Black Friday, that's the day to come. We're going to hang out. We're just going to answer questions. It's going to be more of a laid back stream. So please consider joining if you have any questions, because Black Friday is the day annually when Etsy sees the most shoppers all at once. I think that this year, despite the fact that Etsy's had a slow year, they've been doing a lot to advertise. I don't know if you guys have seen the Where's Waldo commercial. I didn't particularly care for it, but you know what? They're putting a lot of money into advertising, and hopefully that brings more brand awareness and more shoppers onto the platform. So even if you're not planning a sale for Black Friday, still optimize for more traffic on the platform that day. Then November 29th is the biggest webinar that I have in my collection of webinars, Brand Planet. If you've never been to that one, I highly recommend setting aside some time to hang out for Brand Planet. It is my all-time favorite webinar. It is my go-to that I present when I do in-person events as well. So please consider hanging out for that one. December 1st, Handmade Alpha Academy will be opening for enrollment. That is my Etsy coaching program. It is self-paced and it is a lifetime access program, but we can only open it December 1st through the 10th because I'm one person, and obviously you guys know how busy I am, so we can only let people in once a year, or twice a year, I'm sorry. Bubbers is meowing and he's distracting me. You're very distracting, Mr. Bubs.
Well, if you wouldn't tear stuff up, I wouldn't have to hold him like a baby.
And then in celebration of Handmade Alpha Academy opening, we also always, during that enrollment week, we do Etsy Critique Week, where we pull random Etsy shops from the chat every single day. That'll be taking place December 2nd through the 6th. So please consider hanging out for that, for your chance to get your shop critiqued. You have to be there live in order to submit your shop, but we will be here every single day for 1 hour. Yeah. Okay. So, and obviously we're doing all these little shindigs in celebration of our annual charity for St. Jude. I cannot believe that we've already hit $5,000. You guys are absolutely amazing. So let's try to keep those donations coming. I would love to see us hit, I would love to see us hit like $7,000, I think is a good realistic goal to get us through until January. So we're going to be running this charity until after Christmas. Then January, we will switch it up and pick a different charity.
Beth Schroeder said, I do not understand why everyone shops on Black Friday, even though they are shopping online. I'll take the sales, but I just do not understand the psychology behind it. Sensationalism.
It's a hurting mindset.
Yeah, sensationalism. It's the same thing that happens anytime anything crazy happens and everybody goes and buys all the toilet paper. Sensationalism. It's no different.
Yeah. Some people are addicted to the thrill of, the thrill of the discounts. It's a herd mentality thing. It's very much become a part of our culture. There are a lot of people who look forward to it all year just because it's almost like a competitive thing where you feel like you're getting a discount when, nobody else is. Or a lot of people, I think it's just an excuse to, get all their shopping done in one big...
I mean, a lot of people watch the local news and they start talking about it in like August. Like it's something that they hear about almost every day on the news until Black Friday happens. And especially now, considering a huge portion of people will start their sales a month before Black Friday even happens. So it's just pushed in our faces. So it sensationalizes and goes crazy.
Exactly.
Anyway, sorry.
And then the last thing that I wanted to let you guys know before we get started is that we started a new initiative that was talked about in my video from Tuesday. If you haven't watched it, definitely check it out. But over in the free Handmade Alpha Facebook community, which is linked down below in the video description, we are doing a new thing called the Alpha Angels Initiative this holiday. Basically, if for any reason you can't afford gifts for your kids, or if you have some household essentials that you absolutely need, we are allowing our members to find this thread. Just look for this picture. It's pinned to the top of the group wall, and you can post an Amazon wish list. Now, there are very strict rules to make sure that you're actually, you know, basically, we have to make sure that you are posting your country so that somebody within your country is able to connect, because we've had trouble with like someone from the US wanting to buy someone's wish list who's in the UK. So you've got to let them know what your country is and your email because they need that in order to check out for you. So just make sure that you read the whole post. But basically, if you need help with anything this holiday season, we have Alpha Angels who are willing to help you and help you get the things that you need. Or if you would like to be an angel, you have the option to go in there and comment on the thread to follow it and see when people make their posts about, you know, items that they need. I keep checking every day, and every time I go in there about to buy something for someone, it gets bought immediately. So you guys are doing so well. I am so proud of everybody. There's literally, I think there's only one person right now who hasn't had their gifts purchased because there was like an issue with the address. So we're just waiting to make sure that that gets resolved. But guys, I'm just so happy that we were able to create something that is gonna help so many people this holiday. We know that things are really hard. And obviously this time of year is when I have to market Handmade Alpha Academy. But I don't want to come off as one of those people who's like, yeah, everybody's having a hard time, buy my stuff. You know, it's not like that at all. We understand that people are struggling this year, and we want to create as many initiatives as possible to make sure that for those of us who have the extra money to help, that we can try to provide, you know, that help to those who might need it, especially for their kids. Nothing breaks my heart more than the thought of kids not being able to get the things that they need for the holidays.
Now, I will say, you can create an Amazon UK account if you don't live there.
Right,
You just can't have stuff shipped to you. But if someone lives in the UK and you'd like to buy something for someone in the UK, it is not the same account as your home account, and your Prime account does not work for it unless they've changed it because I've sent stuff to Amber Marie.
That's true. Yeah.
So I know you can do it. It's just kind of a pain in the butt.
Right.
Jessica said Canada Post is on strike. Unless you
Yes.
use an alternative, more expensive shipping, you can't send anything.
Yes, we've seen everything with Canada Post. I don't have any updates on that aside from that, though. So
we don't live in Canada, so we can't comment on the likely political reasons why that is.
Right. All right, guys. Well, I'm ready to get started. Are you guys?
I'm ready to get started.
I am ready to get started. Let's do it. So, like I said, today's webinar is a little weird. If you want something more scientific and data-driven and more stereotypical of what most Etsy YouTubers make, check out my free Etsy SE Oodles toolbox link down below. That's free. That has tons of workshops and tutorials, but this one is more for the oddballs who want some metaphorical learning. I'm definitely one of these people. I like the data side, but I also like having more tangible examples. This is one that we've done in the past and you guys really liked it, so we're doing it again. New and improved, though. All right, guys, let's get into it. We're going to start our story today with a man named Greg. And Greg, he's got big dreams. He lives in a normal little house. He's like your typical guy next door. He's single, but Greg has big dreams. He has big dreams of Hollywood. And ultimately, his goal is to someday get some hot dates, right? And he thinks that if he goes to Hollywood, he's going to get himself some hot dates because, I mean, come on, the ladies love the big Hollywood stars. In this example, Etsy is our Hollywood casting directors, okay? The Etsy algorithm, I should say. And our customers are the hot dates. So if we can appeal to Etsy's algorithm, maybe we can get ourselves some hot dates or some customers, right? And there are so many opportunities in Hollywood. Look at all of these listings, all of these ranking positions or these movies that need some good actors. He is so ready to go to a casting call. He wants to get starred in some of these movies that are available, or he wants to rank on some of these highly coveted page 1 positions, right? Yeah, that's what we all want to do.
Mm-hmm.
So he puts on his little bow tie and he gets ready to go to his first audition. He's so excited because he is auditioning for the role of Aquaman. He's so excited. He's looking good. He even wore his fedora, right? He knows that he's a great actor. He's going to get the role as Aquaman or a page 1 position in Etsy search ranking, okay? But in walks in this guy. Things aren't looking as good for Greg now when this guy walks in. This is a top Etsy seller. This top Etsy seller walks in, and suddenly Greg is realizing that this top Etsy seller has a lot more authority in the Etsy marketplace. And this top Etsy seller, he's been cast in multiple big movies in the past, right? So now Greg is feeling a little nervous because Jason Mamoa here, this top Etsy seller, he's already got a ton of authority on Etsy. And, you know, maybe Greg, maybe he was thinking a little too hard or hoping a little too high for this position on Etsy search. Maybe he was, you know, maybe his goals were a little too high. So he decides that maybe he needs to go home and work on some things, right? So he goes home and he starts working out. Yeah, he starts watching some Etsy tutorials on YouTube. He is determined. He is not going to give up. So he starts working out, watching some Etsy tutorials. Maybe he starts eating healthy. Yeah, eating healthy. He's listing some new products. He's eating healthy. He's doing all the things that these tutorials told him to do. Maybe he goes out, he gets himself a nice new camera, right? He tries on a new suit. He knows he needs to look good if he's going to be up next to a top 1% Etsy seller, Jason Mamoa. So he comes back and he's feeling good. He's feeling amazing.
He lost his neck, but he's good.
He's shush. Editing skills, right? Canva has limitations. He is ready to rock and roll. He is going to nail this audition. He is going to get this page 1 position. I mean, he's been working all week on this body, right? He's been working all week. He deserves to be a page 1 Etsy seller. He deserves the role of Aquaman after working out for a week, eating healthy for a week, and getting himself a nice suit. But again, in walks Jason Mamoa, our top seller. Now, the problem is that this top seller is ranking on page 1 because they've got a bunch of good reviews. They've got a positive history on Etsy. And the most important thing is that Etsy trusts them because this seller has a good track record with Etsy. This seller is known to sell things that people love. The good reviews tell Etsy that this is a safe bet. They can trust putting these listings from this top seller on page 1 because they know that the seller is going to create an amazing experience, right? Have you ever gone to page 1 of Etsy for, you know, a keyword that you want to rank for, and you notice that there were listings on page 1 that didn't have good SEO? It doesn't matter that those listings don't have good SEO. It's not the SEO that got those listings there. It is the trust, the history, and the good reviews. And despite the fact that they don't have good SEO, Etsy trusts them enough to say, we know what this item is just based on the little bit of, you know, keywords and a little bit of history that we have. Because this item has done so well, we're going to rank it highly in search anyway. It's the same for if Greg and Jason Mamoa went to a casting call for a movie like Aquaman. Greg has never been in a movie before. Greg is brand new. He's a risk to these casting directors. Whereas Jason Mamoa, he has a portfolio. He has done well in the past. There's trust there. They know that Jason Mamoa is going to give a great performance because he has been in lots of other movies. And he is more likely to be the better candidate for a movie like Aquaman because they already trust him. So maybe Greg has, set his hopes a little too high because Jason Mamoa and top 1% sellers, they have good listing quality scores. This is their number of sales, right? That tells Etsy that this is somebody who has products that customers want. They have good reviews. That's telling Etsy that this seller has items that people not only want, but they love. So Etsy's going to get less friction. They're going to have to deal with less customer service, and it's going to help Etsy's reputation. They've got a good standing. Maybe they have no IP infringement. They've never broken Etsy's rules. They've never gotten in trouble. So Etsy knows that they can trust them, and they're more likely to rank them higher. And if the person's been selling for a long time, well, if they've been selling for a long time and they have a bunch of sales and good reviews, then Etsy's going to know, yes, this is a good seller. They've always behaved themselves. They've done very good in the past, just like Jason Momoa has been acting for a long time. He's a good actor, and we can trust him. So even if Jason Momoa...
I hate this so freaking much. I said a bad word.
Mr. Moore! You get
I'm out of it. Leave me alone.
You need to put a dime in
I said freaking.
No, you said a bad...
You didn't hear nothing.
You said a bad word.
You didn't hear a single word.
Everybody in the chat say, boo, Mr. Moore, boo. Everybody who says boo, Mr. Moore has to donate $1 to St. Jude.
I'll donate $50 for my bad word.
Yes, do that right now.
I'm gonna.
Donate $50. We want to see it in the chat.
We will.
Right? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
That's
my naughty token.
Yep. Donate $50 right now. So Jason Momoa, you know what? I'm gonna play this one again because I want to see it again. Jason Momoa, he could
God, I hate it.
He could show up to this audition in a potato sack, right? It doesn't matter that Greg has a good camera. It doesn't matter that Greg has, gone and eaten his vegetables and, watched a bunch of YouTube videos. Jason Momoa has been selling on Etsy for so long that he could show up in a potato sack and still get the role of Aquaman. Jason Momoa could still get on page 1 of Etsy even with bad keywords because he's Jason Momoa. It doesn't matter that Greg came in with a nice suit. He's not Jason Momoa. It doesn't matter that Greg's photos might be better than Jason Momoa's photos. It doesn't matter that Greg's SEO and keywords might be better than Jason Momoa's. Jason Momoa has the trust already. So Greg, he has to come to the hard realization that maybe Aquaman, maybe that was aiming a little too high. Maybe as Etsy sellers and small sellers or new sellers, maybe reaching page 1 for these super duper competitive keywords, maybe that's not the best approach, right? Maybe we should try to lower our standards. Maybe going straight to Hollywood and trying to get those Hollywood stars or that page 1 of Etsy, maybe that's not the best approach. Maybe what we should do instead is swap it. Because remember, Greg went to Hollywood so that he could get hot dates. That's why he wanted to go. He wanted to go to Hollywood so that he could win out with the ladies or men. Greg, we're not going to judge Greg. Greg can love whoever he wants to love. But the point is that he thought that Hollywood or getting to page 1 was the way to get to hot dates, or getting to page 1 was the way to get to customers. In reality, it's kind of the opposite. What Greg really needs to do is focus on getting the customers. Because if Jason Momoa got to page 1 of Etsy because he had lots of good reviews and lots of sales, well, obviously he had the customers first. So Jason Momoa, he's got all these roles, but maybe Greg can get some of those, maybe he could aim a little lower. Maybe he could start with some low-hanging fruits, right? Maybe he aims for getting the dates first because he knows that if he can get some customers, then he can get the good reviews and he can get some sales. And then Etsy's going to trust him more. And the casting directors, maybe they're going to trust him more. And maybe he can get some easier roles, some roles that are easier to aim for. Maybe he needs to get some, try to aim for some keywords that are a little less competitive. Maybe he doesn't need to aim for Aquaman. Maybe he should aim for some smaller movies, right? Maybe some rom-coms or something. So he decides that he's going to go out for date night. He puts his nice suit on and he's ready to impress the ladies. But again, in walks this guy. And he's not even dressed nice. He comes in and he's wearing a potato sack. He's got bad SEO. Maybe he doesn't even have any branding. He has no Etsy banner. He's just showing up, in his potato sack. And yeah, he's a good looking guy. He's got good products. But Greg might be able to win it with the ladies. So he shows up to date night and he's got some branding. Maybe he brings some roses with him. He's got his branding. He shows up and he's got some good photos. Well, Jason Mamoa, he doesn't have any good photos. But maybe he's playing a little bit of guitar. Greg's playing some guitar. He's got some good photos. He's starting to look good. He comes in, he's got some great customer service. Wow, he's going to wine and dine us with some nice customer service. Jason Mamoa, maybe his customer service isn't nearly as good as Greg's, right? And Greg, he's going to give a top 10% discount, right? To all, top 10% pricing. He's got top 10% pricing, so he's pricing competitively. Yeah, maybe he does offer a discount. That would be another way to win some of those hot dates. Maybe he's got a great social media presence. You can go to Greg's social media accounts for his business, and he's connecting with his audience, and he's driving shoppers to his business. Maybe he takes Starla Moore's 30-day Instagram challenge, which is free, link down below. The point is, Greg knows that he's no Jason Mamoa. Jason Mamoa isn't even fully showing up. He's just been selling for a long time. Jason Mamoa, he's just been selling on Etsy for a long time. So he doesn't have the good SEO. He doesn't really have that good of photos. The one thing that is helping Jason Mamoa is his track record, right? But Greg's got to work a little harder. Greg's got to show up with the good photos. He's got to come in with the beautiful branding. He's got to have that social media presence and maybe drive some of that traffic to his shop himself. He has to price competitively with those top 10% of his niche, right? He needs to look at how some of the bigger businesses within his industry are pricing. And he needs to provide amazing customer service. So yes, Jason Mamoa will always be Jason Mamoa, and he might be ranking on page 1 and he might be getting all of the movie roles. But Greg is still able to compete with this top 1% Etsy seller as long as he has all of these things. And no, he's not going to get the role of Aquaman still, because that's going to take a long time. But he's going to get some, I guess I forgot this slide. Maybe Jason Momoa is looking awfully stinky in comparison, right? He's mad. I had to throw this one in just because I thought it was funny. Like, he's so mad. But Greg is showing up to date night with all of these things. Jason Momoa, he's not bringing his best self to the table, obviously. Look how stinky he is. Because the one thing that he's been relying on is just the fact that he's been selling for a long time and he has a lot of sales, which is what a lot of those big Etsy sellers are relying on. If Greg can get some of these customers, some of these, customers who want the social media connection, they want to connect with a handmade business. He wants to appeal to them with amazing branding that shows them that this is a professional business. He wants to entice them with good photos. He wants to build trust by providing amazing customer service. And he wants to price for what his products are worth. He doesn't want to price at the bottom of the barrel. That might make this lady think that he's cheap. No, he wants to make sure that he has premium pricing for his products. That way he can show that his products are worth more. They are more valuable. These are the things that are going to slowly start bringing in those customers, right? And so now Greg, he's got the customers. He's got some customers trickling in. He's starting to get his hot dates. He's feeling really good about himself. And he's realizing that he doesn't need to worry about getting the role of Aquaman this week. That will come with time. Page 1 positioning on Etsy for these highly competitive keywords or these highly competitive movie roles, that will come with time. Instead, he starts aiming for some keywords that are a little less competitive, but that people are still searching for, right? He lowers the bar a little bit. And maybe he gets a role in a Hallmark Christmas movie, right? So he's not Aquaman, but he's still making sales. He's still ranking high in search. Not for, single word keywords, but for some good long tail keywords that have purchase intent. And he's able to get all of his hot dates. And finally, over time, as he's getting customers, as he's building authority, he will be able to rank for more highly competitive keywords in time. And he will eventually be able to start ranking on those page 1 search results for the competitive terms. Thus, he's making it to Hollywood and he's getting cast in his bigger movie roles. Holy cow, guys.
Did you make it?
I made it.
Did you make it, champ?
I did. Oh, thank you for donating.
That was me.
Yeah, I'm talking to you.
Oh, yeah, you're welcome. It's because I said a naughty word.
You did.
I've been playing too much Call of Duty.
That's okay. What about quality of product? Oh, we're assuming that everybody's got high. I mean,
yeah, that should be a given.
That's a given. You ain't gonna get any hot dates if everybody thinks your products are stinky.
Right.
All right.
You show up in that stained Walmart white plain T-shirt that you painted your house in.
Yeah, probably.
It's kind of a given that they're just gonna run.
Guys, thank you so much. If this one didn't help you and you're just like, this is stupid, go check out Etsy SE Oodles down below. This is one that I created because I always get the question of why are these people ranking on page 1 of Etsy search when they don't even have good SEO or they don't even have good photos? Pam Duthie was the one who came up with the Jason Mamoa analogy several years ago. I just ran with it for this presentation, and I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I hope that it made sense. But again, please consider donating to St. Jude, especially if you enjoyed the presentation. We're going to answer some questions afterwards. I
had this on not screen share anymore.
Oh. Okay. Consider donating to St. Jude if you missed it at the beginning. We've hit over $5,000 already. Mark said a bad word, so he had to donate $50. I think that should just be a forever roll or forever roll.
If I say a bad word, I have to donate $50.
Yes.
I'm cool with that.
Yeah, that's the new rule, is if he says a bad word on stream, he has to donate $50.
Thought I just set myself a cursing fund.
Well, don't. Oh, no, it's not like you get so many curse words based on how much you.
See, that's how I perceive
You'll
it.
Abuse it if you.
I absolutely will.
So everybody, I hope you enjoyed Greg. Please donate to St. Jude. Do it for Greg. Do it, for Greg's career, right? And if you missed it at the beginning, our Alpha Angels initiative is pinned to the top of our Facebook group wall. The group is linked down below if you're not already a member, or you can go to Facebook and search for Handmade Alpha Facebook community. In that thread pinned to the top of the group wall, there are people who are helping with Amazon wish lists. We do ask that you try to keep those wish lists around $30 to $40 if possible, so that people are, able to actually afford them. But if for any reason you're struggling to provide for your children for the holidays and you need a little help, or if, you have household essentials that you need from Amazon, you're able to post a wish list. We also obviously need Alpha Angel volunteers in there that are willing to spend $30 to $40 to help check out, these wish lists and help these individuals. But we really want to focus this holiday season on giving back through our St. Jude charity, through our Alpha Angels initiative, and obviously through Webvember, which we are hosting every single Friday. We also have free resources down below, the Etsy SEO toolbox. Make sure that you grab that. It's free, and it's probably one of the best free resources that I have if you're confused about Etsy SEO. The 30-day Instagram challenge kit, honestly, there's no better time to start that than right now, because marketing on social media, just like Greg did by bringing those chocolates to date night, right? 30-day Instagram challenge kit is going to help to give you a head start on your social media marketing for the holiday season. That needs to be happening right now. Really, frequency is key. Those Instagram reels, especially, that's the thing that's going to be, you know, sent off into the universe, sent off into an audience of people who don't already follow you. The only other way to get that type of exposure is through paid marketing, and Instagram reels is a free way to do that. So again, consider checking out the 30-day Instagram challenge kit. That's free, and it will have everything you need in order to get you started with 30 days of Instagram marketing. Every week, we've been doing Webvember. You can go back and watch the replays for every, you know, Friday that you know, we've had so far. We've done a bunch of these, and then this upcoming Friday, we're going to be doing a Q&A to help game you up for Black Friday, because it'll be a week out from Black Friday. And then on Black Friday, we'll be doing the Brand Planet webinar. Obviously, the Friday Bean takes place every Friday, that we're just doing Webvember during those, but we've got tons of replays. If you have any questions about Etsy, we've probably covered it in a Friday Bean since we've been doing these for 7 years now. Every Friday for 7 years, guys. That's a lot of content.
It's a long time.
And lastly, guys, the Handmade Alpha Academy. Mark your calendars, because it is opening on December 1st through the 10th, and we only open it twice a year. So if you've been waiting, this is your chance to get in. Handmade Alpha Academy is my 9-module self-paced Etsy coaching program that will teach you A to Z how to build, market, and grow a dominant brand on Etsy step by step. This is the only program that I have aside from our Alpha Holiday Bootcamp. This is it. Handmade Alpha Academy, our students get everything. We include a year of eRank Pro so that you don't have to pay for that. If you already pay for eRank Pro, we take over your payments for the year. You get Christina Nicole's product photography essentials workshop. That's almost $300 that you'll be saving by getting HAA, because she normally charges, I think it's $297 total for that. You get annual access to our Alpha Holiday Bootcamps every single year, because once you're in HAA, you're in for life. So you get all of our Alpha Holiday Bootcamps. Those are normally between $60 to $120, depending on when you enroll in it. But again, you will get those forever. And you'll get all the old ones as well, because we keep, what, is it 2 years or 3 years worth in HAA?
I'm thinking, dude, I think 3 years is what I'm going to take, because after that, it won't be really relevant anymore.
Right. So you'll get all of the replays from the last 3 years of those as well. If you missed the Alpha Holiday Bootcamp this year, you'll be able to go in and watch the replays. We've also got a couple bonuses. We've got a trial of Go Imagine Mosaic. We've got a trial of Profit Tree by Hannah Gardner. We're working on right now getting lots of little like trials and just fun incentives that students can take advantage of. But guys, thanks so much for joining. If you have any questions about, you can stop screen sharing. If you have any questions about the Handmade Alpha Academy, please feel free to post those. I much prefer answering your questions in person, here, live. I hate typing emails, but
no such thing as a stupid question.
You can ask us anything. You can also ask us questions about Etsy, about the presentation today. It doesn't need to be about the presentation today, but
Whatever you want.
Yeah. What time is it? How much time?
12:40. We have 60 minutes.
Oh, okay.
50 minutes.
Yeah. Wow. That presentation actually lasted longer than I thought it would.
We'll go until we run out of questions. You guys can ask literally whatever you want. Doesn't have to be about the topic at hand. I know there's 300 of you here, so I know there's plenty of questions to be had.
Oh, I love that. As a former elementary teacher and librarian, this is awesome. I started out as a preschool teacher. I went to a vocational school. So my last 2 years of high school, I was actually getting college credits for early childhood education. And then I went and I worked at the daycare right after graduation. And now I actually go back to the high school to work with the seniors. I'm going to be going back in January to do their future readiness program, which, helps them to prepare after graduation. And I think I'm going to do, because right now, like being a YouTuber is the big thing. And I think I'm going to do my presentation on the reality of being a YouTuber. And, you know, because I think that some kids are definitely made for it, but I also think that the kids need a reality check on how hard it is. So I think what we're going to try to do is I'll only have like 2 hours with them, but I think I'm going to speed run them through like the full, like recording the presentation, doing the scripting, like reading the teleprompter, you know, editing the video in Premiere Pro, getting it published. So in January, you guys might get a video from some kids. I might actually publish it on my, I gotta like send out waivers to the parents and everything. It's gonna be a big thing, but yeah, I'll let you know how that goes. What do we have?
Okay. So Lewis had asked, is the training asynchronous? I want to sign up, but I've been traveling, or I'll be traveling for most of December. So it's do it at your own pace. It's all pre-recorded. We don't have any like 5 o'clock in the morning Zoom sessions. We don't do any of that. None of it is one-on-one, anything like that. It's all pre-recorded.
Yes, and if you can't start until, because a lot of people buy it in in December, but they want to wait and do it as their like New Year's resolution and start it in January, you can absolutely do that. There's no set time when you need to start it. In fact, I just got an email from someone, maybe they're here. I just got an email from someone who bought it in June because we open it every December 1st through the 10th and every June 14th through the 24th. They enrolled in June and just now started it this month. So you can start whenever you'd like.
Lots of questions. Okay. What speed dating place was that? Wine, cookies,
I know.
Chalkies, and Jason. What are Chalkies?
Chocolate.
My brain was just...
Chocolate.
What was that gadget Mark used to clean his glasses at the beginning of the stream, dude?
He gets questioned so much on that.
It's a Peeps.
A Peeps?
Peeps. It has a little brush so you don't scratch your glasses when you clean it. And then it has 2 little pads, little carbony pads, and there's a little thing inside of it that cleans this that you can, like, if you're really greasy, you can clean one of them and then, like, hit it on there, and then it's ready to go again, and they sell replacement pads for it. I've had this for, like, 2 months, and I haven't had to replace the pad on it yet, so.
He gets asked about that thing all the time.
It's the best thing I've ever used to clean your glasses. You just have to make sure you don't have anything on there because it's grippy. So if there's like a piece of material, you're going to, and then you've just ruined your entire glasses, which is what the brush is for.
I have worn glasses my entire life, and I always just use my t-shirt. He has ADHD. And
if there's anything on my glasses, I can't wear them.
Wearing glasses for the first time ever, and he already finds this life-changing gadget.
Yep.
All right.
We're getting another one for her because I get nuts of having to clean her dirty glasses.
Florence.
Well, no.
Oh, wait.
You're not there yet. Quit trying to take over. You're wrong.
I'm sorry.
Hey, please, can you explain additional item meaning on Etsy when setting a US and delivery profile?
I'm not quite sure what you mean. Oh, do you mean like, so that's when they are adding another item to their cart. So if, you're setting the profile, I think this is what you're asking. If you're setting the profile for, the listing that you're currently looking at, what is the action that will be taken if that individual is ordering more than one item? If that's what your question is.
Any chance I could get you to Zoom with my seniors?
Possibly. Let me get through Future Ready Friday in January first.
Yeah, she's not taking on any additional projects or anything additional at all by my demand until
November
the beginning of the
December.
year, because she destroys her mental health taking on 50 projects at a time. And then I have to be the recovery man.
November and December, I'm not allowed to do anything.
She's not allowed to do anything. She works all day, every day, all year long, and she still works most of every day, even though she's not supposed to be doing anything.
He says I'm not allowed to take on any new but I have to plan for Future Ready Friday for the seniors.
Yes.
And then after that, I might have a little bit more time. But yeah, just feel free to maybe sometime in January, shoot me an email at Starla at handmadealphaacademy.com. And by then, I'll probably have a better idea of what I've done for Future Ready Friday. I've got a couple presentations that I do for the seniors, though. I have one about, one that's probably not good for the traditional seniors, because I mainly present at my old technical school. And part of that is me talking about how you don't need college because they're at a tech school already training for their careers. and a lot of them go straight into their career. So it's probably not good for the average high schooler, and it might combat with your current curriculums. But I can always adapt those lessons. I like to talk more about the all of the resources that kids now have that we didn't have, and talking about like how if you want to learn how to do something and you have internet access, you can literally learn how to do anything. I talk about being careful about the things that you post online and how those things can follow you, and how they can make you, unemployable, because there's a digital footprint that is left behind. I talk about building up a portfolio and making sure that your social profiles are catered in a way that a potential employer, if they checked you out, they would see, what type of person you are, and basically branding yourself. So, that might be something fun that we could do. But anyway.
Can we have that YouTube presentation too? I think they mean for HAA students. The one we just did. The one you literally just did. They want it in HAA.
Oh, it'll be in the resources guide. It'll be in, all of my YouTube videos, right before every enrollment period, I refresh the resource library in the bonuses vault. And everything is done by category of video. So if you go into the resource guide, every YouTube video I've ever made is in there, and it's broken down by topic. So I don't even think that all the HAA students know this, but there's one just for like student interviews. There's one for SEO. There's one for business and mindset. There's one for branding, and it includes all, and every episode of the Friday Bean. Obviously, I only update it, I updated it in June, so it'll get updated probably next week or the week after to prepare for December enrollment.
What's up, girl?
What's up? What's next?
Just was looking at something.
Oh.
Just wanted to give a heads up. I used Vela to update my pricing last night. It wiped all of my variations and SKUs. It's been a nightmare morning trying to fix 1,600 listings one by one. Be careful, y'all. And it's funny, we actually just got an email from Vela.
Asking for a partnership?
Mm-hmm.
I would definitely reach out to their support. I've never used Vela. I know a lot of people use it for bulk variation editing, but...
They meant for that presentation. Sorry, meant the presentation on being a YouTuber for the high school students.
Oh! Well, it's a hands-on, it's not a presentation where I am actually...
It's an activity.
Right. I'm going to take students and we're actually going to make a video. And I'm going to teach them, I'm going to have one, some students are going to be editing, some students are going to be scripting, some students are going to be recording. Every student is going to have a role in the workflow, and they're going to collaborate and create a video, probably like a fake advertising video. So there's no way that I could present that one, unfortunately.
Is there a 2025 marketing calendar available? I see it for 2024, but it might be late.
January 1st. The 2025 marketing calendar. Every year the marketing calendar. Usually, if you're on my email list already, you'll get a copy in your inbox. You won't need to sign up for it again. If you get emails from me, it will just be in your inbox on January 1st because I work on it during my Christmas break. If you're not already on my email list, it will be updated on the Handmade Alpha Academy homepage on January 1st. So you'll be able to go in and get the download for that.
Can I ask a question about E-Rank? You can. Yeah. You can ask literally a question about anything. We don't care.
Anything you would like.
The week you showed us you had high searches and low competition. Can I see the section in the basic plan? I only use the free version, but hoping to upgrade.
Yes. The basic plan, basic, pro, and expert plans have pretty much the same capabilities, but they each have different quotas. So most sellers really, I encourage to start with the basic plan because it's very likely the only plan you're going to need, at least until you hit a point where, you are selling at a higher volume, and that's where you might consider going to pro. But yes, you see the actual numbers, your actual estimated search volumes, clicks and click-through rates, and competition, and the search trend graph within the keyword tool for those keywords that you've searched for. Oh, Brian.
Brian said, HA helped me fix my branding, was able to provide me the guidance to continue to improve as I decide to include more aspects in my business.
Awesome. And the cool thing about what you learn in HAA is that it's based on neuromarketing and consumer behavioral science. And the great thing about that is it's not just for, you know, your singular Etsy shop. I always have people, they'll email me and they'll say, can I apply this to more than one Etsy shop? You can apply it to any business model. This isn't an Etsy, I mean, the course, yes, is Etsy because obviously Etsy SEO is going to be specific to Etsy and SEO is, you know, one entire module of the program. But when it comes to things like consumer psychology, it doesn't matter if, you know, you're running a brick and mortar store, if you're selling on Etsy, if you are, we've even got somebody who runs a dog deli in Hawaii, like an actual, like you walk in and get deli food for your dog. We have somebody who's a massage therapist who used HAA for her massage business. Now, obviously they all started as Etsy sellers, but because they've learned that foundational knowledge of branding and marketing and consumer psychology and target customer identification, they've been able to take that knowledge and apply it to future, you know, or their future endeavors and, you know, businesses that they've decided to pursue later. We even have one, you guys might remember Derek from Mugs for Men. He sold Mugs for Men. Now he sells what DOD?
He sells contracts from companies to the DOD.
Yeah, to the Department of Defense.
Or vice versa. I think it's the other way around.
He
sells DOD contracts to contractors.
Yeah, using the stuff that we teach at Handmade Alpha Academy.
Yeah, he's a good dude.
Michelle, my virtual assistant, I said my shell because I went to say my VA. Michelle, my VA, she publishes books for others. Like she helps, you know, people publish. She's the one who helped me publish my book. Her mom is an author and she publishes all of her books. And she used HAA to do all of that. And, you know, to build her brand. So yeah, it's a foundational knowledge, but then we also have those deep dives into things like Etsy SEO, which is very specific to Etsy.
Yes. And I saw your question, Lacey, for everyone, the type of product you sell is irrelevant to taking HAA.
Yes.
It doesn't matter what you sell.
Right. It's because it is psychologically based. It doesn't matter if you are POD, digital, handmade. We've got sellers in there who sell 18 plus products. We have sellers who sell baby toys.
Yep. And if you're interested for signing up for HAA, should have the waiting list linked down below.
Yes. Joining that waiting list, it doesn't obligate you to buy it, by the way. It just makes sure that I'm able to email you to let you know, like, right when the doors open, since there's only 10 days to enroll.
Sorry, I'm researching for somebody else's question.
Oh, okay.
Do you still support Go Imagine?
Of course. John is amazing. Right now, John, we got this question on during Thursday Q&A as well. I hope that I haven't done or said anything to make everybody think I'm not supporting Go Imagine. John's awesome. They're just, right now, they're still kind of in that growth phase. We're currently working over at eRank on some Go Imagine stuff. So that's coming sometime. I'm not allowed to say anything. And I also have it under pretty good authority that John is talking to some Canadians about what it'll take to get Go Imagine in Canada. Because, you know, when I published my Go Imagine video, everybody was like, of course, my country gets left out. Of course, Americans think that people only shop in America. Or
no, but a huge majority of people do, which is why it's a great place to start.
Well, right. That's, yeah. It's not that John doesn't want to expand. It's that he doesn't want to become Etsy. And expanding to other countries means understanding their taxes, making sure that their checkout and processing systems are going to work for those other countries.
Paying their taxes. It's not even just understanding their taxes. If you open up to another country and nobody's selling out of that country, you're not making up for the money that you are inevitably also going to have to pay taxes for in that country.
Exactly. So he's just trying to, you know, expand slowly so that he can make sure he's doing things right, so that he doesn't have to rely on investors like Etsy did. That way, Go Imagine doesn't turn into exactly what Etsy was, because John is not going to go public. He wants to keep Go Imagine small for that exact reason.
Which is super duper hard when you talk about the costs of expansion.
Right.
Because a lot of companies go public because they need the money from investors to be able to pay from going from like 5 employees to 100+ employees. You can't just do that. Like,
everybody wants Etsy to be handmade, and they say they want a competitor, and then John is like trying his best to do everything that it takes to be a competitor that isn't public, which is what everybody wants. Right, and then everybody's complaining. So I feel bad for him, man.
Yeah, it's an uphill fight, that's for sure.
But John's great. I talked to him before Amplified, and last I spoke to him personally, I know that we're talking to him over in the E-Rank side, but last I spoke to him personally, I was hooking him up with Brian over at E-Rank, who is in Canada, so that they could talk about what it's going to take to get Go Imagine to Canada. So
for people just starting out, it's a financial burden. It is a financial burden to buy every single one of your product samples and photograph it ourselves. How important is this versus mock-ups we can create online? I don't think it's an importance thing. I think it's more of how well you can do with mock-ups versus your own pictures. I always think doing it yourself is best, but of course that's a super privileged thing to say. If you're just starting out in business, I know you can't afford the like $1,000 it's going to take to buy a mock-up of every single one of your designs in the different colors and all that kind of stuff. So like everything else, do what's within your budget. If you don't have the budget to buy your stuff, then you're only left with the option of making mock-ups.
Right. So you can only do what you can do. There's somebody in the front yard.
It's probably FedEx.
Okay. The thing popped up. Someone's seeing front yard camera. It's one of you, isn't it? Outside.
Yeah, it was, and it's raining, so I'm gonna go ahead and go get it.
Okay.
Here's the questions.
So with mock-ups, I buy my product, but if I couldn't, I would make sure that I am buying at least one of every type of items so that I understand how things are being printed. Not every single item, but if I have 10 sweatshirt designs, I would make sure that I'm buying at least one sweatshirt so I know that my printer is doing a good job. Because I think that that's very important. It's not even just for the photo aspect. I would make sure I have at least one on hand. The role of a mock-up and what we should be aiming for with our mock-ups, we don't want customers to know that they're mock-ups. I mean, obviously customers are, some are going to be savvy enough, but it shouldn't be blatantly obvious that what they're seeing is a mock-up, right? What turns me off when I'm shopping is when I go to an Etsy shop and every single mock-up in the shop is exactly the same. Because then I know, okay, that lady is not sitting in that exact same pose for every single photo. When you use mock-ups, my big ask for sellers, and the thing that really is going to set you apart in search, is to make sure that you change up those mock-ups. And I actually have an episode of the Friday Bean from a couple weeks ago where I show you how to go into Printful or Printify, if you have the mock-ups from them with, the models and the shirts, how to take those, or, the cups or whatever you're selling, how to take those, remove the backgrounds, and create your own staged background so that you can create a shop that looks unique, but you have mock-ups that are completely unique to you, and you can make sure that each and every one of your mock-ups is different. So definitely check that out.
Oh my God, peeps, I have them in various locations. They're the best. They are. Where do you get them? Amazon. Just go to Amazon, type in Peeps Glasses Cleaner. Should be one of the first things that pop up. There are a ton of competitors. Can't speak for those. That was the one I just read. Did you do another one? Did you do this one?
No.
Okay. What is your advice for a POD store who's struggling to get views and sales? Granted, I'm new and only have 15 listings, but also struggling to provide for the little ones. So just down? Question mark.
So here's the thing.
Please don't rely on a brand new Etsy shop for your main source of income. I don't know if that's what you're doing, but please don't do that.
Yeah, it takes time.
Sometimes years.
This is a hard question. It's akin to walking into the doctor's office and saying, "Oh, doc, my stomach hurts. What's wrong with me?" And expecting the doctor to have an answer. No, the doctor's going to send you off to get tests. They're going to do x-rays. There needs to be a more in-depth analysis here. I don't know, just because you have a POD shop and, you know, you have products listed, I don't know if there's demand for your products. I don't know if your designs are good. I don't know who your target audience is. I don't know if your photos or your mock-ups are good. I don't know if your SEO is good. I don't know what you're doing for external marketing. Your Etsy shop is like a human body. There's not one organ keeping it alive. There are a lot of organs, and they all have to work together in order to keep your body alive. And Etsy is the exact same way. And really, my job here on YouTube is to answer each of these individual questions, to help you diagnose what's wrong with the heart, what's wrong with the liver, what's wrong with the lungs, what's wrong with your skeleton, what's wrong with your vascular system, what's wrong with your brain, what's wrong with your branding, what's wrong with your SEO, what's wrong with your photos. These are all things that I cover here. So there is no answer to the question, why am I not making sales? Just like there's no answer to the question, oh, doc, my stomach hurts, what's wrong with me? You don't know. There's no way for anyone in this world to tell you. And please, for the love of God, don't get on Fiverr and pay some Etsy guru an astronomical amount of money to tell you what's wrong with your shop, because they prey on people like you. You have to be the one to diagnose the issues. Here on my channel, I've got playlists that cover each of these topics. So my biggest piece of advice is to start there. Especially if, you know, you're struggling to make ends meet. Eat up the free resources. Get the Etsy SEO Tools Toolbox. That's free. It's like the best free resource I have. The 30-day Instagram challenge kit. That's a fantastic way to help with your external marketing. Internal marketing, that's going to be Etsy SEO. Those are people internally on Etsy who are shopping. External marketing, that's going to be people who are outside, who you are bringing to your Etsy shop. But I also, I encourage you to not have this mindset that there's like a day when you should get sales, or, you know, that the algorithm is going to start paying off on a certain day. We have to remember that a real living, breathing person has to see your product next to every single other, you know, product out of thousands and thousands of listings. They have to look at yours, click yours, you know, not click anybody else's. They have to decide to click yours because yours is better than the other ones. And then they have to look at all of your photos, read your description, and decide if they want that item enough that they're going to go dig out their credit card, maybe go out to their car, find their wallet that is stuck under the seat, retrieve their credit card, type out all those numbers, and click buy now. That's a lot of actions. And something that I said yesterday during eRank Q&A is I noticed that there are a lot of Etsy gurus right now who are talking about how to list like 100 Etsy products a day.
It's asinine. Don't do that.
If it takes you less time to list an item or to design an item than what it takes someone to go retrieve and find their credit card, that item isn't gonna sell. So just remember that there has to be a human on the other side of that screen who wants that product. And it takes a lot of time to figure out, you know, the perfect item, and to make sure that it's a product that fills a gap in the marketplace, and that meets a genuine need. And then you have to figure out, you know, how to properly photograph it to appeal to that ideal customer. You have to figure out, you know, the keywords that are best going to work for that type of item. And it often can't just be the keywords that accurately describe the item. Those are important, but sometimes they need to be the keywords that, you know, are more targeted towards the customer, like, you know, gifts for PC gamers, for example. There's just a lot that goes into it. And yes, at Handmade Alpha Academy, that's obviously what my entire course is about, more on the psychological side. But when you're struggling already, again, like he said, please make sure that Etsy is not your like number one source of income. You have to build up to that. You can't like quit your job and then expect Etsy to be the thing that like pays the bills. It takes a lot of time.
If you want to be like a street roaming musician, you're not just going to like pick up guitar and immediately try to be a professional street performer on the first day you try to learn the instrument, right?
Right. It takes time.
It's not a good idea. Now, if you don't have any other choices, I get it. there might be better alternatives to doing something like
Right.
anime business at first.
Right. But right now, your biggest resource is your time. So invest that time into learning as much as you can. I think that last I checked, I had like 680 videos on this channel. Like don't go back like 4 years because those are going to be a little too old.
They're awful.
But I'm here every Friday and I publish a video every Tuesday. We do E-Rank live streams every Thursday. We answer questions here every Friday. Just eat up that free knowledge and learn every single day.
What's the reason sometimes there are picks when I sell 6 items in a day and then a following week I'm lucky if I sell 1 or 2? Random number generator gods.
No, it's so there
Demand.
is so well, it's not just that. It's where when we talk about listing quality score, right? That was kind of the beginning of the presentation we did today. When you start selling listings, Etsy is more likely to rank those listings higher in search after each sale because they want to try to show that item to more people who are similar to the person who just bought the item. And they thought, well, if, Debbie, we've learned through our machine learning that Debbie likes blue cats. I don't know, I'm just making things up. She likes blue cats. So she buys lots of items themed around blue cats. And Bob sells a mug with a blue cat. We'll make sure that, Bob's listing is shown to Debbie who likes to buy items with blue cats. If Bob's listing with a blue cat sells, well, then maybe we should show Bob's blue cat mug to more people who like blue cats. We'll rank it higher in search. Sales immediately help you rank. And it's why sometimes you'll make a sale of an item and then that exact same item will mysteriously sell again like the exact same day. It's very odd where you're just like, wow, why is this item suddenly selling? It's because Etsy's decided to show that item to more people.
There we go. Just wanted a darker screen. It's hard to look forward.
Oh,
Everything is white and bright.
No, that's fine.
I was recently doxxed in a Discord server because some people are scarily obsessive. If you were genuinely doxxed to a point where you think your safety is a concern, you should, if you're in the US at least, should absolutely file a complaint with the FBI. It's the it's the IC3, Internet Crime Complaint Center. It is a federal offense to dox somebody on the internet. So
Yes.
yeah, don't let that go. Absolutely make sure they get punished for that. They're probably going to want you to file a police report first, but because we are approaching the holiday season, do you allow cancellations on Etsy orders? I'm debating whether or not to hold the order for 24 hours in case of cancellations.
We do. We actually send our POD orders over manually so that customers have a 24-hour window to cancel, but we also message them right after they've made their purchase and thank them for their order. And then that kind of, that gives them almost that little bit of communication. But I personally, I like to leave that 24-hour window just in case, especially when you're POD or if you're creating products, and immediately customizing them with your hands. If it's like a rush order or they've mentioned something about, needing it in a hurry, I guess that's a little different, but it really just depends on your business model. We just push our orders manually for our POD shop for that exact reason, just in case,
Vela support was about as helpful as Etsy chat. Printify was super helpful, though.
Of course, Printify was helpful.
Do you have a course for alt text to help with SEO? No, because your alt text specifically should be used for describing your item. And if you do a good job at describing your item, then it'll already be optimized. Alt text is for people who have visual disabilities who cannot see what they are looking at on a page.
Yeah, do not keyword stuff your alt text. Do not, everybody write it down in their notebooks right now. Get your pen, get your pen. I don't have a pen. I was going to hold up a pen. Get your pens out. Right. Do not keyword stuff my alt text. Your alt text is for people with visual impairments. If you keyword stuff it, and let's say that this person who is blind or colorblind, maybe, they're using a screen reader, which is something where if they can't actually see with their eyes, they use a screen reader that says the words to them on a page to describe what they're looking at. These individuals have to shop online too. And they hover over your photo thinking, wow, somebody finally accommodated me. Nobody else on this listing page has their alt text filled out, and this person accommodated me. And then it's just a bunch of keyword spaghetti. How awful would that be for that person? Hold that item in your hand, whatever it might be. My glittery black venti Starbucks tumbler with, I don't know, icy texture. I'm just grasping at straws here. Hold your item in your hand and pretend that there is a blind person next to you. How would you?
Is that offensive? I don't know. Is being blind something you can't do?
I feel like
you're basically blind without your glasses, so it's fine.
I can't see it all without my glasses.
My wife is blind. It's fine.
I can't see anything without my glasses. But the point is, if you were describing your product to a blind person, how would you describe it? And make sure if you have 10 photos of this product, odds are that there's either a different background or maybe there's a hand holding it. Make sure you're describing the whole image. If it's, the cup sitting on the table, describe that it's sitting on the table. If it's white woman with red hair holding the cup or sipping out of the cup, say that. Describe exactly what the photo is. Caucasian woman with white hair holding black, venti, glittery Starbucks
keyword
cup.
stuffing your alt text is like slapping their little tappy cane out of their hand and then screaming eBay listings at them, trying to get them to buy your stuff.
Right.
That's really what it is. Like, imagine there's a blind person at a mall trying to find their favorite store, and the only way to do it because somebody stole their cane is everyone is outside the store screaming Chinese style eBay titles at them.
Right. Screaming keywords in their face.
That's what keyword stuffing is. The equivalent. I mean, it's not directly the equivalent, but
no,
it's a good example. You understand what I mean.
Do a little bit of research on how blind individuals, blind shoppers use screen readers.
It's pretty fascinating.
It is amazing.
I did tech support for 2 blind people while I did internet tech support, and it was a quite unique experience trying to navigate a blind person through a piece of machinery,
right?
Let alone get them to a website that gets them stuff to buy. Like, it's very important to just do that stuff right.
Definitely check that out though, because it can give you a new perspective on how those individuals utilize alt text so that you can make sure you're doing it correctly. How do you know what page your items are ranking on? So we hear this one all the time. Let me tell you how you can't tell where your items are ranking on. And I always feel like this is common knowledge, but apparently it's not, because it's not. I say it all the time. You cannot check your rank by going to Etsy, typing in some keywords related to your listing, clicking search, and finding where your item appears on a search page or what page it appears on. You can't check your rank that way. Why? Because Etsy personalizes every single shopper's unique experience based on machine learning. But wait, what if I log out? You still have an IP address. Etsy still knows that that's you. They know where that IP address is, where in the world it is. You're still getting a personalized experience. What if I use an incognito window? That's just not cataloging your browser history, but
that's for watching stuff you don't want your spouse to know about.
Right. Or
that's all incognito's for.
Or Christmas shopping when you don't want ads to follow you.
It's for that doesn't work because they're IP based. It just doesn't log your cookies. So it's basically just cookie protection.
But regardless, it's not going to wipe that layer of personalization. Well, what if I use a VPN? I'll put myself in the UK. Guess what? You're getting personalized data for the UK. Every single shopper is going to have a unique experience on Etsy based on their location, based on their shopper habits, their past purchases on the platform, things that they've favorited. It doesn't matter if you use a VPN, if you're logged out, if you're, using an incognito window, none of that strips the layer of personalization. But over at eRank, we have a tool that does, because it is directly plugged into Etsy's API. And what it will show you is where your listings would rank organically in search before that layer of personalization is applied. Now, everybody asks, why is that? Why would that matter if everybody has a personalized experience? How is that even helpful? It's helpful because it gives you an idea of what the average shopper sees. So if you see within the eRank rank checker tool that your listing would be ranking on page 1 for a desired keyword, through our rank checker, that tells you that as long as it's a good keyword, that's probably not a listing that you need to edit. And if it's not selling or it's not doing well, the SEO probably isn't the issue, as long as it's a good keyword that has high demand and, low competition. So eRank rank checker tool. That's how you check your rank.
eRank shows you the cake before it's got the icing and sprinkles on it.
Yeah, it's your naked rank.
Yes, your naked rank.
Your naked rank.
Your naked rank. By the way, for anybody who doesn't want to have to use incognito mode, remember the short keys for that. If you just use Opera GX, F12 closes all of your tabs and pops open a mystery tab, not of your choosing. It just goes to like Wikipedia, Google Docs, whatever. So, but it saves all your tabs, so you can just F12 right back into your tabs. Like this just opened Reddit for me, and then here go all my tabs again.
You're teaching them bad habits.
I'm not teaching them bad habits. I'm teaching them sneaky habits. I can't see how much the HAA enrollment costs. I would love to join.
It is
Starla.
It is $997, not $9.97. One time. Or you can pay over the course of 6 months, $199 per month for 6 months. There is no difference in between what you get. The only thing that changes is how much, you pay at a time. Do you know what the cutoff month is this
March
time?
1st. No, because it's
December.
The first of the month is when it is. So let's do let's see, because December, January, February. Let's do February 20th.
Now everybody gets this wrong. We've had emails from people who are emailing us.
I have one in my inbox right now.
Emailing us in November to say, Mark said he'd cut off my last month payment. That's not
how it is.
That's not what it is.
If you reach out to me through my support email that you get when you sign up for HAA, prior to February, I'm going to do February 20th. I normally do the 1st. I like to give myself 10 days before the payment period. You message me by February 20th to pay off your plan early. I will cut the final month payment off, and it will be the same amount as the $997. It is an additional $199 to do the payment plan. I want to make that clear because I've got like 6 emails this year so far of people that are like, why am I charged again? It's because it's 6 monthly payments.
Right. We don't just cut off the last payment.
No, it's a convenience fee because I have to keep track of like 200 people making payments, not making payments, emailing me to delay payments, and all other kind of things. It's a pretty normal standard in the course industry. But I cut that off, which is not a norm. No one else does that.
No,
if you message me prior to February 20th and pay off the remaining balance minus the end $199, I'll cut the final payment off. We take that.
Right. You'll basically be getting just the same price as the one-time payment.
Exactly.
And the one-time payment is technically cheaper. And with your plan, you get 12 months of eRank Pro. That's normally $120. So you'll get that included with your...
And we only mention that here. It's not mentioned anywhere on our course page. It's an incentive for our fans, an incentive for you to pay off your debts early, because I don't like having debt. And I don't think anybody else should have debt. But we also understand some people can't afford to pay that big of a payment up front.
Right. We've had a couple people message us and they're like, I couldn't find it in your terms, because it's like just a nice thing that he does.
It's not something I'm required to do. I do it because I love you guys.
Right. So with that, you get 12 months of eRank Pro. That's $120. You get Christina Nicole's Product Photography Essentials Workshop, which she just completely redid. And that is $297 that you would normally have to pay for that, but you get that included. You get annual access to our Alpha Holiday Boot Camps. Those are between $60 to $100 or $120, depending on when you enroll. But you get three, like backdated 3 years of those, and you get annual access to those forever. So that's like infinity amount of money that you're saving with those. You get a feature, to create email automations through MailChimp, which you normally need a paid plan for, but MailChimp provides our students with a magic link that you only have access to in HAA, so you can set up automations for free. That's something that I always forget to mention. But yeah,
Using their old school automation system, that might not always be a thing. So we need to,
Well,
as of
it
right
is-
now, it is.
I'll bug them if they ever take it away. But yeah.
Didn't Etsy say mock-ups aren't allowed for the first photo? No, mock-ups are allowed for the first photo. You cannot use collages for the first photo.
They're talking about when Etsy was suspending shops.
Yeah, Pam already answered that. They changed the policy.
Yeah, Etsy was the wild. I mean, it's still the wild
Still
west.
the wild west, but it's a lot more bandits out there now.
Yeah.
Your thoughts on Windows or Mac for a first-time photographer? I've had Mac for the past 2 decades. Use Adobe Studio, thinking of switching. If you are used to Mac, stick with Mac. Here's my experience. So I don't like Apple as a company. I think they're terrible people. I think they take advantage of their customers. They charge way too much for what you get, and they don't allow you to repair your own things, which is absolutely ridiculous in a modern tech age. However, I use an iPhone because it is far superior with its camera, and I use a MacBook because it is more consistent as a creator. Apple stuff kind of just works, and the stuff that works for Apple just works. If you switch to Windows, you are going to have occasions, even with the stock Adobe stuff, where you have problems that you don't know how to fix, that there are no tutorials for, and their support is abysmal. I honestly recommend, if you're already on Mac, stay on Mac. It's built for creatives. I will say, for someone who has switched from PC to Mac specifically for like my music creation and for her audio and all that kind of stuff, while it does take nearly 5 times longer for this to render audio than my Windows computer, even though that CPU is 5 years younger than this one, I've never once had my audio software crash on me. Windows, it crashes like every 5 times I use it. So Mac is more consistent, easier to use, and there are fewer options for software, but most of them have significantly fewer problems. So take that for what it is. I am a PC fanboy, but when it comes to creative stuff, Apple is kind of just the way to go. I think they take advantage of people with their hard drive specifically. Upgrading to a 4 terabyte hard drive in this computer cost me like $1,600. A 4 terabyte NVMe hard drive for a Windows computer you can get for like $250. So they way overcharge people for stuff.
He might as well be talking Greek right now. I'm just like, yep. As long as my computer works, that's all I care. He does all that.
Yep.
He's the hardware guy.
Follow me on Instagram if you want to see. I'm building like my craziest computer ever. It's going to be so much fun. It's not fun to build, but it'll be fun to play on. How do I know how much 10% of top sellers are charging for a product similar to mine? Does E-Rank help with that? Any tips? Thanks.
All right, let me rephrase that, because what you're asking isn't the right question. It's the top, you price in the top 10% of your industry. You're not pricing like the top 10% sellers. You're pricing in the top 10% of your industry. So what you're going to do is go over to erank.com, go to the keyword tool, type in the keyword that most accurately describes your product. Obviously, it needs to be a term that has some competition to it. Otherwise, you won't have any comparative data. When you perform that search, you're going to scroll down until you see there's little tabs, and one of them says SERP Analysis Tool or SERPs Analysis Tool. You click the SERPs tab, and you're going to see common price points for items that share that particular keyword. And from there, you're going to be able to figure out where most people are pricing their products. And you're going to want to select that top 10%.
Hey, Lady Vanta Black, before you bounce, if you're in my Discord, shoot me a DM if you're playing Call of Duty. I have no problem playing with alphas. Any of you that are in my Discord or the Alpha Discord, feel free to find me. Professor Prosciutto. Tina had said, FYI, I was able to fix my Mac and get a new memory card for it. Yes, but 100% chance that you voided your warranty by opening it yourself. And if any hair got in a place that couldn't normally get into it, or any moisture or any dander or anything that couldn't have gotten in there normally is anywhere, they absolutely will not give you any warranty support for it whatsoever. That is the problem. You can find parts for Mac. However, if you need official support for stuff that you can't fix yourself, you are probably out of luck now. And they'll say you have a warranty for it, but they are notorious for even like, oh, your neighbor smoked, there's a little bit of nicotine in the air and we found it on your CPU, so you no longer have they're notorious for that, which is why they've had numerous lawsuits in the UK just to get USB-C, which is the standard for literally everyone.
Ooh, Elva, we made leather props for the New York Comic Con for an HBO show. Oh my goodness, please email me and tell me. If you're not allowed to tell me, that's
update us, dude.
I still brag about you so much, but then I want to know. I want to know what you're doing. And do you have any insights on that Hulu Akatar stuff? I want to know. Tell me.
Would you say vintage is still selling as well as previous years? We can't answer that question.
You're going to have to go to, I mean, that requires a little bit of research on your end. I'm sure that it completely depends on what the vintage items are. I mean, you're going to have to go into eRank and check some search terms to see, because obviously there's no like sell data. There's no data, that will tell you how much revenue categories are making. But if people are searching for those types of products, then there's likely, I mean, there's intent to buy.
Miranda said Hulu Akatar has been dropped.
I heard that for a minute, and then I heard that wasn't true. I heard that it was picked up by somebody or something else.
Sounds like a bunch of chatty Cathy's making stuff up.
Yeah, I heard that it didn't actually.
It's hard to tell.
Yeah.
Unless it came directly from either the producer or the author, I don't take it at face value. If I were to join AHA, does it cover multiple Etsy shops? I've made the big decision to split my original Etsy store that I opened in April into 2 shops. So the thing is, 2 shops isn't anything different. The only thing that changes is your time management.
Yeah, it's not. HAA doesn't cover shop. It's not like an account that you stick on your shop. It's you're building knowledge. You're going to school. It's an online school where you're learning how to optimize any shop. It doesn't, you are gaining forever knowledge. It's like, you know, if you went to college to be a doctor, you wouldn't just apply that knowledge to one hospital. You'll take that knowledge with you forever. This is a foundational knowledge that you're going to be able to take with you no matter what business you create. And while a lot of it is going to be Etsy specific, there's going to be a ton that will help you to be a better employee if you're working, you know, a job, if you're doing any type of marketing for a business. You're going to be able to utilize it in so many different areas of business, just depending on what you're doing. We even have Lucy, who works for Amber Marie. Amber Marie is like one of our star students, and she actually hired another student who lives close to her because that student also took HAA. And since they both had that knowledge, now they're just running this like superpower business together. So no, it's not like an app that you apply to a business. It is a knowledge that you carry with you that can be applied to anything. And it's
people coming up with a lot of different descriptions of it. To be honest with you, I think it's more like a do-it-your-own pace college course that actually has classes that have something to do with what you're doing and not just stuff that people think you need.
Well, we have a lot of, I mean, I'm sure that some of you guys who have taken HAA some of you who have taken HAA that have also, you know, got business degrees. We have tons of students that have business degrees, and they all say the same thing. They learn more about how to actually start and run a business in HAA than they did when they were in college, because college teaches you how to work for a business. College does not teach you how to run a business. HAA is teaching you a foundational knowledge that, yes, it will make you a better employee if you're working on things like social media marketing, or if you're helping with brand development and things like that. But these are not things that you're traditionally going to learn in college. And I know that for a fact, because when I freaking taught at the University of Dayton, I walked into that classroom, into the omni-channel marketing classroom, and looked out at all these students and said marketing funnel, and none of them knew what I was talking about. I'm like, so you're learning omni-channel marketing, but none of you can tell me what a funnel is?
Several friends that have been in high-level college classes that have told you that college is a literal waste of time for anything outside of like a medical degree. You should have known that that was going to be the case.
Could not tell me what a funnel was. I'm like, that's what I thought that omni-channel marketing. I didn't go to college, guys. Did you know that?
I went for a little while.
Well, I had college credit, but I immediately started working because I went to a tech school for early childhood education. But now I speak at colleges. Like
I went to school for exercise and nutritional science, but dropped out when I found out that 90% of my degree was like sports law and stuff that had absolutely nothing to do with any job that I would ever get as a nutritional therapist or.
Don't ever let somebody tell you that you need to have that piece of paper to run a business. Yes, there are. I'm not saying like, drop out of college, everybody. There's definitely good that comes from it. But if you're somebody who like can't afford it, or if it just doesn't fit your lifestyle, just know that,
and study abroad. Good God, don't go to college here.
Like, oh yeah. But I mean, you can learn so much from, you can even take MOOCs. MOOCs are college courses that you can take for free. You just don't get any type of college credit or a degree from them. But if you want to take the college course, you can do that for free. So if you don't need the piece of paper, just take a MOOC. Okay, anyway.
I went to vocational school for graphic design and started in Raytheon in 10th grade.
I loved my vocational school, and I remember growing up, everybody was like, oh, if you go to a vocational school, that's where dumb kids go who are too stupid for college. I heard that the entire time I was in the vocational school. It was the best decision I ever made for my entire life. They treated us like adults. I worked with children. I got, on the job. I worked while I was in high school. Half of my day was spent working. It was the best experience for me. And I really hope that someday our daughter is able to do something similar. Yep. And computer graphic arts, those are the students that I typically go talk to. I know that it's weird because I was in early childhood education, but they usually want me speaking over the computer graphic arts students.
Miranda said my husband has a master's in marketing. He said HAA covered a lot of the same ground without stuff like focus groups.
Yeah, because I utilize MIT case studies for most of what, most of my things are backed by different case studies.
Yes. Unlike most courses, this isn't and I hate continuously talking about the course, but it's not here's how I did it, do it this way. It's not.
Because it's not anecdotal.
Yeah, it's not anecdotal. Everything that she teaches is proven. It's real stuff. That's all we have time for, though. We are at the 1:30 mark. And Miranda said that for the show that the showrunner dropped off. So Hulu still has the rights, but there's nobody doing anything with it because there is no showrunner.
Yes, I did see that, but I believe last I saw they were looking for another showrunner.
Well, of course.
Right.
But that's all we have time for, guys. We appreciate you guys being here.
Yeah, guys, please consider donating if you're still here to St. Jude. The donate button's down below. Don't forget, we've got the Alpha Angels initiative taking place in the Handmade Alpha Facebook community. If you can donate, $30 to $40, just keep an eye on that thread because people are posting their wish lists, people who can't afford, gifts for their children, or, maybe they need some household essentials. We want to make sure that we're able to take care of them. I've been looking in there every day, and every time I go in there to buy somebody's wish list, somebody else comes in and buys it. So I haven't even gotten to buy one yet. I'm like patiently waiting to buy somebody's wish list for them. But I appreciate that. That means that there are so many people who are willing to help, and there are not very many corners of the world where you can get resources like this. And I just love that we're able to create that for you guys, for our community. The link to our Facebook group is down below. Just please make sure that you answer our 3 membership questions and agree to our group rules. I have had to deny several people access to the group because they didn't agree to the group rules. That's how we prevent spammers. So definitely check that out. Next week, we're going to be doing our Black Friday Lifeline live stream. So you can get your questions answered about Black Friday because that will be 1 week from Black Friday. The Friday after that is going to be my big Brand Planet webinar. It's my favorite. If you want like an example of like how I teach in HAA, Brand Planet is probably one of my favorites. It's almost like you're getting a free sample of HAA because it really goes into the psychology of branding and why branding is so darn important for your business and how to actually understand what it is to be a brand, not just to have a logo, because branding is so much more than that. It is the psychology behind your business. Handmade Alpha Academy, that opens December 1st through the 10th. You've got 10 days to get in because Mark and I are only 2 people and I don't want to hire a bunch of people to run HAA for me. So we have to keep those enrollment windows really short. But there is a waiting list link down below if you expand out the description. If you sign up for that, you'll get an email right when doors open so you don't miss it when we open for enrollment. There's a 30-day no questions asked money back guarantee. Did we mention that at all? I don't think so. But yeah, if for any reason, if you get inside and you end up not liking it, all you got to do is email Mark. You don't even have to tell him why. All you have to do is say refund and he'll drop you a refund. And yeah. Oh, and the last thing, we're going to play our end video. There is a link in our end video, our outro, that says go to joinhaa.com to sign up for the waiting list. That link's broken. I don't know what's going on with it. Our shortened link just does not work right now. He's checking it.
Works just fine for me.
It doesn't work for me. So
It's probably your computer.
So if you go to joinhaa.com and it changes it to joinhala.com, that's not it.
I think you just need to clear your history and try again.
If you want to look at our waiting list, just go to the link. Go to the link in the description. That one works. Anyway, cue the outro.
I will cue the outro. First, I want to address
What?
this uppity person in our chat here.
What?
Consider donating, ? Consider answering the questions. So I'm assuming you're new here because I did see your question about wanting to sell your Etsy shop, which no, you can't do that. It's
Legally?
well, you can sell your
No,
business.
you can't.
You can sell your business,
Not
but
your Etsy. Okay.
let me talk.
Okay.
You can sell your business. However, you cannot continue to sell it on Etsy because it is against their terms. Second of all, the donations don't go to us. They go to children. And if you're making 15 grand a month on your wallets, you have more than enough money to donate to children. So that's the one and only time I'll address an uppity comment like that. Next time it's a permaban.
Yeah, don't come here. And
unless it's just like a language barrier thing and you're just not good at typing out, but that sounded uppity to me, and this is our channel. So
yeah,
we all love children here. So we're gonna donate.
right. We just did $50 because Mark
I just donated $50 because I said a bad word.
Right.
So we love you guys.
Okay, well, ban them.
Yeah. See, that was easy. If you're so good at business, then this wouldn't be so hard for you, and you could find the answer yourself, huh?
All right, you just get rid of them.
Yes, I'm from Russia. Then you're not even allowed to sell on Etsy. Get out of here.
What?
You just bye.
Bye. Adios, amigo.
Peace out, y'all.
We love you. Thank you for
That's how we do that here.
Thank you for everybody who is a positive influence, who loves us, who donated to St. Jude, who loves children. Wow.
We'll see you guys on Tuesday and next Friday. Peace out.
Peace
I
out.
have become a better person through HAA.
What I really like about Starla is her honesty and transparency. There's so much that she gives to people for free.
I'm like, this is an incredible framework for me to build into and adjust to and adapt to, and all these things that I would have never been able to figure out on my own.
I was like reinvigorated about my business when I started HAA.
Our armor was featured in Lucifer season 5 finale, and the main actor got to lure things that we created here. Part of the reason why we were able and ready to do such a thing was because of the alphas.
Joining Etsy, joining any online platform, you have question after question after question. HAA has been the one place where I've got answers for nearly all my questions.
You guys and what you have done with the Handmade Alpha Academy has literally changed my life.
And you get continued help no matter where you're at in your Etsy journey. That was probably the biggest selling point for me.
The way you teach it, it's simple, it's down to earth. I can comprehend it. That's one of the things I love about your teaching style.
I don't think I ever could have done it without being in the HAA. Your step-by-step steps were fantastic.
I don't know how you could not succeed by following the step-by-step really instruction of how you lead us through HAA.
The first 4+ years that I was on Etsy, I think I had 37 sales, and we've gotten well over 1,000 since then. I think I'm up to 1,200.
Self-paced, there's an amazing Facebook group that will help you.
Invest in yourself. It's worth every penny and so much more.
I look at my Etsy shop and I look at my website and I am just in awe of what I have done. And I just look at it every day and think, wow.
I actually think that for what you get, you guys are really, really not charging enough. I hate to say that.
I've had thoughts to myself where I've been like, I'd give you guys $3,000 for this course. I see how valuable it is.
2020, I did maybe $3,000. 2021, I did $10,000. HAA for me paid back for itself 6 weeks after I signed up for it.
I definitely recommend it. If you can invest the money, the time investment is not too bad.
Well worth the money. There is nothing in all that I've taken that I haven't been able to use for my business.
Absolutely, just do it, because there's no, what do you have to lose? And it's everything you need in one place.
It's hard to buy an education that will teach you practical skills like we learn in HAA.
Take the plunge, do it. First off, the money back guarantee is really a selling point for me.
She knows so much about marketing and branding and the psychology behind it. So that's really good knowledge to have, and she's so willing to share that.
So I would tell everybody out there that's thinking about it, if you're ready for this step and if you're ready to grow yourself and your business, it changed our lives, honestly.